So I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. When I was 3 years old in the south of France, I was already wearing a surgical mask, and it was probably a mission that I didn't know, but I didn't know the path. And so I started my medical school in Montpellier. It's one of the oldest medical schools in the world. And when I started medical school, I didn't care too much about the science. I cared about action. And I always wanted to be the surgeon in the room, opening bodies, looking what's going on inside, making sure I can, connect the tubes, fix the tumor, or, make the heart beat again. And it was a fascinating journey where, I embraced, the energy and the commitment of being a physician, a French trained cardiac surgeon. But something was missing. I think the purpose of really making sure we could provide the service to the most, the masses and the population that couldn't afford it was a priority for me. And so one of this mission led me to a lot of different countries where we could provide, this expertise, this care to developing countries. And it could have been in Africa or emerging countries, in India or in the Caribbean. And so I ended up probably being a humanitarian before a physician. And then I became a physician specializing in heart surgery. But you know what the problem was? I was always the end of the chain. And so you were coming into the operating room when it was usually too late. How can I could have been earlier in this process? And so starting to think about how can we integrate all those information, making sure you can have access to the patient a lot earlier, really, really early on, before the disease could appear. And that's what I think is really important right now, is to understanding that there is a phase where you're not sick, there is a phase where you're healthy in life, and that's one of your most precious assets. That's what you need to protect. And once you know exactly what you need to protect, then you can put, let's say, the barrier, the safe around it, and making sure that you are empowered and inspired and educated to protect this. And think about, a car, right? You bring your car to the mechanician to make sure that everything is fine every, few thousand miles. Now, what happened with the body? We don't check on our body that often, and especially not the doctor. When you're in the operating room, you don't have the time to go and see your patient, every 2 months, every 3 months. You fix the problem and it's done. How can you right now bring a solution for the people in real time, in real life, making sure you keep them healthy, you keep them away from the disease, making sure they are accountable, but making sure they are empowered and educated enough to understand what's going on inside and what they can see outside of their body. And the frustration as a physician is, how do I know if I don't test? How can I educate if they don't know? And how can I prove that if I don't and I cannot measure the outcome? And that's really easy for surgery, right? When you put a tube back together or you fix a valve in the heart, then it works back again, right? And so you can see on the echo. Now, you don't see that when you sleep. You don't see that on your biomarker. You cannot measure it. You don't see the impact on diet. You don't see the impact of meditation. You don't see the impact of your lifestyle on your daily, on a daily basis. And so that's the whole vision that a lot of physicians have, a lot of healthcare professionals would love to say, one day we will have the tool, we will have the technology, we will have the knowledge on each of my patients. Each of individual could be summarized in a number of information. Knowing what works and personalize it, it's probably one of the next step in changing the game in medicine. If you want to learn about what's going on inside your body and learn about your health, if you want to connect with like-minded individuals like you, if you want to optimize your health to the next level so you can reach 100 years old, Hearty is for you.